Good afternoon, I'm Phil Peterson. We're at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick for today's Greater Middlesex Conference boys soccer action between the East Brunswick Bears and the St. Joe's Falcons. These longtime rivals have had many memorable battles over the years, and while Bear head coach Dan Haston has experienced many highs and lows of Bear Falcon action, St. Joe's coach Walt Leonow will be here for the first time. Emotions always run high when these two teams get together, so look for a fast-paced, tight defensive game. St. Joe's comes in with a 4-0 record, not having allowed a goal to this point. The Bears' lone blemish in a 2-win, 1-loss season was a 1-0 loss at the hands of Westfield last weekend. I'm Phil Peterson, to be joined by Scott White later on, and we'll be right back to bring you the lineups and the start of today's action. And here are your starting lineups for today's match. East Brunswick in their home whites will have Mitchell Brown at stopper, Lewis Kimmel at outside back, Joe Merkel at sweeper, Robert Montenegro at forward, Michael Poller at midfield, Scott Rosenthal at midfield, Mark DeGrandis and Dan Gariello at forwards, Jonathan Rotter at outside back, Evan Schottlander at midfield, and Ben Kartzman in the goal. For the St. Joe's Falcons in the Kelly Green uniforms, B.J. Smith, Joe Imperio, and Dave Cecchio are your backs. Your midfield consists of Jeremy Weil, Phil Muksavich, Corey Fick, and Tom Blondette, and Mike Bollinger. Your forwards are Mike Cecchio and Kyle Bartlett, and in goal, Tony Piagentini. St. Joe's thus far, as I mentioned at the opening, is 4-0 and is yet to be scored upon in the tough GMC conference. And with this two-forward system they play, it's no wonder that they have such a tight defensive line. Captains are out at midfield, going over the coin toss with the referee and any rules. St. Joe's and East Brunswick have established quite a rivalry over the years, and the crowd will usually continue to file in as the game progresses, and the stands will be quite full. Captains come back to the benches, and we're almost set for action. This game with St. Joe's will be the first of 7 consecutive home games for the Bears. They'll follow up today's match with a game on Friday against North Brunswick, and then again on Saturday morning against Edison. So they hope to come off their loss over the weekend to Westfield and pick up some momentum as we head down the stretch and get into the conference tournament and the state finals. East Brunswick and the Whites will be going from left to right on your screen, and St. Joe's will be going from right to left. Teams are lining up and getting set for the kickoff.
We'd like to call everyone's attention to the time. A running time will be kept on the scoreboard. The official time will be kept by the officials on the field. The scoreboard clock will be stopped at 3 minutes, and then the official time will be run out by the officials on the field.
Roberto Montenegro and Mark DeGrandis all set for the kickoff. We play 2 40-minute halves. If the game is tied at the end of regulation, we will play 2 10-minute overtimes. Clock will only stop on an official call for an injury, caution, or a goal. And we're underway here. Ball played back to the midfield. East Brunswick starting to build from the back, working along the far touchline. Good ball handling so far by number 15, Evan Schottlander. St. Joe's plays it forward. That's number 11, Kyle Bartlett. East Brunswick moves the ball down the middle, gets caught offside, trapped by St. Joe's. St. Joe's, as I mentioned, has not allowed a goal this season with 2 forwards and a tight defensive trap. Look for many offside calls today. what East Brunswick will have to do to counterattack this is make some quick passes through to try to catch St. Joe's on its heels. Ball play forward down the left flank. And we're going to have a corner kick for St. Joe's. Coming in to take the corner kick will be back Joe Imperio, a senior. St. Joe's lining up predominantly on the outside of the 18 box. Will come running in on the kick. Ball's played to the far corner and headed out of danger. That'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Joe Merkel getting set to play the ball out of his zone. Played down the left wing. Neither team seemed to establish itself in midfield yet. As usual with these two teams, it's a very tight defensive game. Emotions run quite high during this, and you've been for some exciting soccer action today. Number 18 for East Brunswick, Mitchell Brown, getting set to put the ball into play. Ball played forward by number 6, Phil Muksavich. Nobody running down the left wing, so it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Ball thrown into number 9, Scott Rosenthal. Be a white push-off on number 8, Michael Poller. He had his arm up there on the back of the St. Joe's player on that 50-50 ball. Neither team able to get much established so far. Neither goalkeepers have faced a shot at this point. Nice play by number 17, Dan Gariello, to try to set something up, but the ball is intercepted. Be a throw in for St. Joe's. Number 15 to be taken out be Mike Tornambi. Long throw into no space in there, into plenty of space. Nobody running onto it in there, and the ball will be cleared out by East Brunswick. Number 18, Mike Bollinger, playing the ball up. So far, his play's been compressed into the middle third of the field. Nobody having any chances inside either team's penalty box yet. East Brunswick will try to build an attack from the back. Ball played down the right wing, but intercepted by number 19, Joe Imperio. Played back down the left wing on the near touchline. Number 15 for St. Joe's, Mike Tornambi. Hand on the ball, looking to find someone breaking through. Gains control of it again, moves to his left, pokes the ball through the penalty area, but it's going to go over the touchline. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Joe Merkel getting set to tee it up. Looking for anyone moving on his team. Ball controlled by Dan Gariello and intercepted by Joe Imperio, but it'll be a handball against Joe. Somewhat unintentional, but the referees will call it tight. Try to keep control of the game. Ball played down the right wing to open space. Nice ball. Number 8, B.J. Smith for St. Joe's. Watch the ball go over the goal line. It'll be a goal kick for St. Joe's. First substitution of the game. Number 10 for East Brunswick, Joe Condorso, going in. And let's see who he'll replace. He'll be replacing number 5, Robert Montenegro. Joe Condorso is a 4-year starter, or 4-year varsity player for East Brunswick. Gariello with the ball, flicks it ahead. Tough 50-50 ball off of a St. Joe's head, had it out of danger, and it'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. Be taken by Scott Rosenthal. Nobody seemingly wanting it there, waiting to see what their teammates were going to do instead of taking charge. Ball's played out of danger by number 33 for East Brunswick, Jonathan Rotter. Quick throw in on the near side. Very tight marking to this point. Neither team, as I said, is able to establish any kind of momentum. Number 15, Mike Tornambian, to take the throw in. He's got the capability of throwing it right in towards the penalty spot from. Gains control of the playback, set up in the middle. Not able to take a shot. Regains. Offside call on the right wing. Good call by the official. Both teams playing somewhat of an outside trap. Both offenses have to either make some quick passes through or they're going to be holding up their forwards all day. St. Joe's in control at midfield. Trying to establish something. Ball played up the left wing to number 15, Mike Tornambi. Cleared out by Joe Kimmel. Another offside call against East Brunswick. Oh, excuse me, that'll be a throw-in. Throw-in played out by East Brunswick to Joey Condorso. Number 20, Mark DeGrandis with the ball, loses control, and was obstructed by number 15, Mike Tornambi for St. Joe's. Oh, referee's calling it the other way. Ball pushed out of danger. It'll be another throw-in for St. Joe's. Played into the middle. The Falcons seem to have taken somewhat control of the game right now at this point. Have had more opportunities set up for them, but just haven't been able to put anything through against East Brunswick's airtight defense at this point. Nice give and go play between the two players. See if we can do it again. Up the left wing. Push forward, but just a little too deep, and it'll go to the keeper for St. Joe's, Tony Piagentini. Both teams trying to establish some sort of momentum from the back as opposed to playing a kick and run game so far. The weather doesn't seem to be a factor at this point. It's overcast, but there's virtually no wind out here. So the elements shouldn't play any sort of factor in the game. Handball against St. Joe's. Good call by the official. And East Brunswick will try to set something up as they get a free kick right near the middle third of the field. Lewis Kimmel plays it down the left wing. Obstruction against St. Joe's. East Brunswick's first golden opportunity just outside the box. About 23 yards outside. He'll set something up from the left. St. Joe's will be trying to keep the East Brunswick forwards up and hoping to give their keeper a clear look at the shot. This will be an indirect kick. Played forward a little touch and cleared out of danger by the St. Joe's fullback. And it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Coming into the game now, number 16, Robert Longo. And he'll be replacing, let's see if we can get a number. He'll be replacing Scott Rosenthal in there. Have a trip from behind on East Brunswick. Ooh. Ball called against St. Joe's instead of with them. Played over the right wing. Nice cross and a goal. At the 11th minute. Number 10, Joey Condorso at the 11th minute. 29-29 left in the first half, and East Brunswick jumps on the board 1-0. Beautiful head ball goal by Joe. Well, there hasn't been much offense so far, but what chances East Brunswick had, they certainly capitalized on. Everything started down their end from the moment they got the free kick over on the far left side. And from that point, they just kept momentum in the St. Joe's end and was able to connect and take the early 1-0 lead. 11.5 minutes into the first half. Well, the first few minutes right after a goal is very important to see if the goal-scoring team can try to maintain a momentum. While the team scored on, in this case, St. Joe's, will try to regroup and build an attack. Another free kick for East Brunswick. The referees are going to establish tight control. They don't want anything to get out of hand today. Long ball played down the right side beautifully. Headed out of danger. I think we're going to have a dangerous play against East Brunswick. Forward got their foot up there a little too high, trying to knock the ball down. And it'll be played out by St. Joe's from their box. Be number 8, B.J. Smith taking the kick. Flicked ahead by Mike Tornambi. And East Brunswick's calling a push from behind. Restart will be taken by Kyle Bartlett, number 11. Plays it gently ahead to B.J. Smith down the middle. Long shot from about 40 yards out, goes harmlessly wide. Dan Haston getting set to make another substitution. Coming out of the game from East Brunswick is Dan Gariello. St. Joe's intercepts on the left side. Tries to take it into the middle, but cleared out of danger by Lewis Kimmel. Ball played back to fullback. East Brunswick trying to set up an attack, but a little lazy going back to the ball. Intercepted by St. Joe's. They'll try it again. A little push from behind against St. Joe's. East Brunswick will take the free kick on your far side. We're 13 minutes into the game. East Brunswick has the early 1-0 lead on a nice head ball goal by Joe Condorso. Free kick played forward, intercepted by St. Joe's and headed back into the end by Mitchell Brown. Played down the right wing for East St. Joe's, again intercepted by Mitchell Brown. Tries to take control, plays it forward to Condorso. Headed out of danger by Lewis Kimmel. And it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Good call by the official. They've been on top of the game thus far. Condorso with the ball. Flicks it to the middle, receives a back pass, tries to play it back to his defender to set something up. Down the right wing. It's number 11, Kyle Bartlett for St. Joe's. Played closely by Kimmel. Ooh, right through the legs, but it's cleared out of danger. It'll be a corner kick for St. Joe's. Over to take the kick for St. Joe's is number 6, Phil Mucksavage. Plays a long ball, probably a little deeper in the box than he would have liked. And it's cleared out of danger by East Brunswick. They start breaking ahead. Down the left wing, ball gets a little too far ahead of Robert Longo, and he loses control. St. Joe's intercept comes back down. Another substitution for East Brunswick as Dan Haston tries to keep some players fresh in there. Into the game, number 9. Scott Rosenthal, and out for a rest is number 15. That's Evan Shotlander that's coming out for a breather. St. Joe's ready to make a couple of substitutions. Entering the game for the first time today is number 3, but He doesn't seem to be on the roster here at this point. St. Joe's will have an opportunity on just outside the right box. Free kick, let's see what they can set up. Got players moving around inside the box trying to get free. Ball's played in and headed out of danger by number 18, Mitchell Brown for East Brunswick. Condorso plays it up the right side. In control of the ball now is number 20 for East Brunswick, Mark DeGrandis. East Brunswick plays it forward. He's got a step, but that ran out of room. With the Crown on this field, any ball played down the touch lines has a tendency to roll out unless someone runs onto it quickly. It's one of the dangers you face with East Brunswick having the home field advantage. Hopefully they can capitalize on that. Both teams marking each other very tightly, and referee catches East Brunswick left back with a forearm on St. Joe's player. So it'll be a free kick from St. Joe's right near midfield, played quickly up the right side and headed out of danger by Lewis Kimmel. Kimmel's name's been called out quite a bit so far today. He's had quite a bit of action out there, and he's been up to the challenge. Shot in, keeper slips, but Ben Kartzman's able to maintain control and hold on to the ball. Trying to maintain his composure here, get his team a chance to set up outside of the box. Now he'll play it out the left side to number 16, Robert Longo. Played up the left side, but knocked out of bounds by Eric Shea for St. Joe's. We'll have another substitution for East Brunswick. Coming into the game, number 26, Brad Caruso. And coming out for a rest will be number 8, Michael Poller. Coach Haston trying to maintain some freshness out there in the field, give his players a break. And instead of mass substitutions, he's being very selective out there. Doesn't want to disrupt any kind of flow by bringing too many new players at the same time. Number 10 with the ball, doing some fancy dribbling, is Jeremy Weil. Plays it out to the right wing. Intercepted and played back by Longo. Caruso with the ball. Looked to be offside, was number 20, Mark DeGrandis, but the referee didn't see it. The play will continue. St. Joe's will get a throw on the near touchline. We have 21 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first half. East Brunswick up 1-0 on a goal by Joe Condorso, 11.5 minutes into the match. And that's been the only real scoring opportunity thus far, as both teams have maintained play between the 18-yard lines. St. Joe's has carried the action the last few minutes, but has been unable to mount any kind of sustained pressure or get any real shots at goal, as the defense led by Lewis Kimmel has thwarted anything thrown at them. Setting up just outside the box for St. Joe's, it's number 10, Jeremy Weil. See who will take the kick. Trying to throw the wall off base by maybe stepping over the ball. Nope, he takes the kick directly and he scores. Jeremy Weil at the 19.5-minute mark ties the game for St. Joe's at 1-1. A well-placed free kick. Goalkeeper Ben Kartzen might have been screened by his wall, and Jeremy Weil was just able to find an opening in the wall and put the ball right through to the corner and tie the game up for the Falcons. So their sustained pressure did pay off for them, and we're all knotted up at 1. Let's see if the Bears can regroup now. Again, a tight marking game. There have been very few chances. As a matter of fact, there's only been about 3 shots on goal, and 2 of them have been placed. Ball played down the right side, but weakly by St. Joe's and cleared out by East Brunswick. Little pinball action at middle third of the field. East Brunswick in offside position, gets back just in time. Trying to gather ball on the right wing, flicks it over his fullback. Trying to maintain position. Oh, and the referee makes an obstruction call, questionable obstruction call against the East Brunswick forward. But a call nonetheless, and St. Joe's will take it out of the box. And we have an injured player down the field. Appears to be Joe Condorso for East Brunswick. Like he either turned his knee or his ankle out there and is hobbling off the field. Referee will stop the clock so he can get off and get a substitute in there. And when play resumes, St. Joe's will get a free kick out of their end on the obstruction call. Taking the kick will be number 8, B.J. Smith. Plays a little chip shot down the middle, flicked on by number 5, Corey Fick. It'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick, however. Played back to the fullback, and one time down the left wing, and it'll go out of bounds on the far touchline. Again, for those of you that just joined us, Joe Condorso scored 11.5 minutes into the first half on a beautiful diving header. And Jeremy Weil for the Falcons came back 8 minutes later on a free kick just outside the East Brunswick box on a low shot. Apparently, Ben Kartzman was screened by his wall, and the ball found an opening in the wall and beautifully placed just inside the far post. And we're all knotted up at 1-1 with 18.5 minutes left in the first half. Long throw-in for St. Joe's, headed out of danger by East Brunswick, and we'll do it again. B.J. Smith taking the throw. Plays it to nobody down the right wing, and the ball roll harmlessly over the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. More substitutions in the making here. Number 5 for the Bears, Robert Montenegro coming in, and he'll replace Mark DeGrandis, the junior forward. Ball played down the left wing, marked tightly by the St. Joe's. Number 18 for St. Joe's, Mike Bollinger, doing a good job of defending in the middle there. Charge from behind on number 13, Eric Shea of St. Joe's. It'll be a free kick for the Bears. St. Joe's playing a very tight marking game. And now joining me here in the booth is Scott White. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. I see we have a good one going here. It's a nice sunny afternoon, and East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. There's 17-10 remaining in the game, and East Brunswick's now in control of the ball on the near side touchline, stepping up in a handball that time for St. Joe's. Don't have his number on this roster. Check back on that, but number 3 actually, I think it was getting clubbed with the handball on the near side. So East Brunswick with a restart now, quickly put into action. The referee not satisfied that the wall was moved back far enough, so he's going to stop play and restart it up again on the near side, taking the restart for East Brunswick, Michael Poller. Referee will now confer with the wall and move them back a 4-man wall about 10 yards off of the ball, and Poller looking to set the ball into the middle of the box. Waiting there for it is Mitchell Brown. May look far post, steps over to fake. Now a drill from the near side from Scott Rosenthal, and it'll go out of bounds over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick now the second restart situation from the far side. 5 players inside the box. Long ball coming across. Looking to get a crack at it is Dan Goriello. Goriello cuts back, leaves off for Poller. Poller having some problems in the near side. There's going to be a push off against Poller, so it'll be a restart. A kick for St. Joe's. Taking the ball for St. Joe's is B.J. Smith. Decent crowd on hand here this afternoon for a soccer game. Probably close to 50 people on the near sideline, and then if you look over on the far side for St. Joe's always known for bringing their fans to games. There's probably a good 30 people traveling with the St. Joe's contingent on the far side. We're down to about 15 minutes. The score is tied 1-1 here at East Brunswick. It's St. Joe's and East Brunswick. And Phil, this is always a big rivalry between the two teams.
Yeah, over the years they've had many memorable games. Last year, actually talking to Coach Haston prior to the match, East Brunswick has lost their last 3 home games to St. Joe's, yet they won at St. Joe's by a 2-1 score in overtime last year. So the home field advantage really hasn't been such that far.
So East Brunswick looking to break out of that rut. 3 losses at home against St. Joe's. They hope to change that this year. We'll see what happens as we're tied now at 1. East Brunswick has a throw-in on the near side. A second throw-in by Scott Rosenthal. Rosenthal look now down the line, sending a long ball over the head of Dan Goriello, and the ball will be bounced out of bounds one more time for Rosenthal on the near side touchline. Coach Haston will make a substitution. Now coming in for East Brunswick, Brad Caruso will check in, and he'll take the throw-in from Caruso. He'll take the throw-in from Rosenthal. So Caruso will put the ball into the box. A quick flick of the head, and it'll roll untouched out of bounds over the far side end line. A goal kick now for St. Joe's. St. Joe's is going to make some substitutions on the far side, as well as East Brunswick now checking in for East Brunswick. Scott Rosenthal took a quick rest, get some pointers from Coach Haston, as now he's conferring with Pasha Fairoz, and he'll check into the game for East Brunswick. Coming out on that transaction was Brad Caruso, as well as Michael Poller. St. Joe's still with the goal kick. Good 40-yard goal kick. It'll fall shy and fall shy of the midfield off the head of Mike Checchio. Out of bounds on the far side. East Brunswick throwing. East Brunswick not wasting any time. Quickly into play. St. Joe's stepping up and stealing the ball away. Now St. Joe's trying to string together a few 3 passes and broken up by East Brunswick. Fairaz will turn it upfield. Leaves off for Conderso. Conderso looks up the middle. Now East Brunswick's going to run it on the near side touchline. Through pass looking for Mike Poller on the near side. Poller's going to flick it over his head. Check that. That's Scott Rosenthal. Excuse me. Rosenthal flick it over his head and lose control. St. Joe's will turn back up the other way. Goriello will break that one up now. A through ball. Good opportunity for East Brunswick. Keeper for St. Joe's coming out of the back, and Tony Piagentini,
but it was a good effort, Scott.
Piagentini will come up with it, and he'll punt the ball up over midfield. East Brunswick will win the 50-50 ball and maintain control in the middle of the field. They'll run it quickly down the touchline. Almost an offsides, but nothing happening there as the East Brunswick front runner was just on, but no opportunity to get a crack on goal. So the keeper will come up with it one more time, and he'll punt it to the exact same location East Brunswick coming up with it that time, but not before an infraction. It'll be a push-off against, actually, it's going to go against St. Joe's, so East Brunswick getting the better half of the ball and the call, so it'll be a restart for East Brunswick. Just short of their own of the midfield line, 12:21 remaining in this first half. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. East Brunswick long service into the box, looking near side for Rosenthal. Not quite long enough, so East Brunswick will pull it back out off the St. Joe's header and start up one more time. Fairaz trying to dribble around a few players. Unsuccessful as 3 St. Joe's players step up and steal the ball away from him. Now St. Joe's has some numbers on the near side. Through ball sent. St. Joe's still maintaining control in the middle of the field. While Wheel in control of it. Wheel comes near side for Bollinger. Tied up, and the referee signaling a foul against East Brunswick. So St. Joe's now the restart situation on the near side, about 40 yards off of the end line. Stepping over to take it for St. Joe's will be B.J. Smith. Smith's going to one-time real short pass. St. Joe's looking to go far post, but a little bit too long, and that'll bounce just on the end line and out of bounds. So it'll be a St. Joe's goal kick. Now, I haven't had a chance just recently arriving at this game. Who's had the edge so far? Has it been a pretty even match?
So far, it's been pretty even. St. Joe's seems to have the edge in territorial play, but neither team has really had any long sustaining efforts at the goal. The only two efforts by either team were both resulted in scores. As a matter of fact, St. Joe's goal against was the first one they've allowed so far this year. So they seem to maintain their composure pretty well and came right back to tie it up. And we have a tight defensive battle, just as we predicted.
It'll be a throw-in on the near side here. St. Joe's thinking it's theirs. East Brunswick signaling it's theirs, but St. Joe's is going to actually pick it up and take the throw-in as the referee agrees with St. Joe's. Now in control of the ball for St. Joe's. Wheel, he sends it across the field. He's going to switch it up, looking far side for Bollinger. Bollinger's going to turn it upfield. Nothing happening, and it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a quick throw-in, but Coach Haston wanting to make a couple of substitutions, so that ball will be pulled back as Michael Poller will check back into the game for East Brunswick. Firaz off for EB. We're now nearing the 10-minute mark. East Brunswick and St. Joe's still tied at 1. East Brunswick trying to find something in the middle there, but nothing happening. As Phil had just said, East Brunswick and St. Joe's both having a problem penetrating each other's defense, a defensive battle that's being played out in the middle third of the field pretty much from what I've seen so far. So we'll see who's going to break the back of the other team. It really is a tight game so far, tied at 1. St. Joe's has the ball on the far side touchline, looking to switch it up, coming to the middle of the field for Joe Imperio. He's going to send it into the middle. A shot from about 20 yards out, just over the top. Kartzman challenged that time. But no shot on goals. It does go over the top. Kartzman didn't touch it. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. And Coach Haston still making the substitutions, trying to find something happening out there to put the ball in the back of the net. Coming in for EB again, Robert Longo. Now coming over to the sidelines, Dan Goriello.
Well, the Bears traditionally like to run teams down, so by bringing fresh players in and out, he's hoping to gain some kind of an advantage and maintain some kind of momentum attacking down in the St. Joe's end, but St. Joe's been up to the challenge thus far.
East Brunswick clears the ball down the near side touchline, a goal kick, and now it's sent to the middle of the field. No one running onto it. St. Joe's will head it out. East Brunswick now has the advantage far side over to take it. Rob Longo, who just checked into the game. He's going to run it long, but not before an offsides is called against East Brunswick. And East Brunswick front runner getting nabbed that time with the offside, so losing the advantage that time on the far side. Now St. Joe's will have a restart about 30 yards off the end line, pretty much in the middle of the field. St. Joe's set to take the kick. Long ball, run it down the far side touchline and out of bounds, so St. Joe's now losing their advantage. East Brunswick will throw it in one more time. Long ball will come up to take it, but the referee's going to signal us back a little ways. He'll leave it off for the marking back for East Brunswick. Ball's put into play, one bounce, now off the chest of Longo. Ball's put down, an overlap for EB, well executed, but no one running onto it there. Two St. Joe's players stepping up to clear the ball out, and a quick clear out by Tom Blondette for St. Joe's, and now someone running on the far side for St. Joe's. That'll be Phil Musavage. Some tough names to pronounce from the St. Joe's bench this afternoon. Musavage having a hard time in the corner, as well as I am in the booth here pronouncing the names. East Brunswick's not going to waste any time. They'll put it into play as we try to figure out the names. St. Joe's will quickly pick up on it, turn it around, running the touchline on the far side, but East Brunswick's long goal step up and try clearing it out. A trip's going to be called against East Brunswick that time. So now St. Joe's will restart it one more time, just shy of the midfield on the far side touchline. We're under 8 minutes at 7:35 remaining in this first half. East Brunswick and St. Joe's each tied at 1. Long ball looking to serve it into the box, one bounce, and East Brunswick stepping up to clear it out with the header now. East Brunswick's going to try to come near side, but St. Joe's will put the ball back into the box. Kartzman's going to come way off his line, and he's challenged. He can't get a hand on it. Finally, he's able to punch it out in a very dangerous situation. He left his line, but couldn't grab the ball. It was cleared out. Kartzman coming up with the big punch that time, so it seems as if he did challenge that player too. Kartzman getting the better half of that challenge, because whoever that is, I can't catch the number, is walking with his hand against his face. See when he turns, that will be another number we don't have on our roster. East Brunswick's going to run it back up the other side. One quick touch from Joe Condurso to the middle of the field. Now running it in the middle of the field. Mike Poller's going to look to switch it up completely, switching field far side. Looking to send it down the line for East Brunswick.
St. Joe's tight defense again with their offside trap, catching East Brunswick for about the 6th time today.
East Brunswick having a hard time timing this trap. I've seen 2 already. I've only been watching the game now for 10 minutes, so at least 2 in the last 10 minutes. East Brunswick having a rough time, and St. Joe's will turn it around. But St. Joe's not having not doing a good job clearing the ball from the backfield. That's the 2nd time in 2 minutes that they've cleared it out of the backfield without it even landing in bounds, completely going over the far side touchline. So both teams making some mental mistakes early on in this game, and it could come down to those mistakes later on. Now a long through ball, timed the trap well that time. Scott Rosenthal on the near side, but unfortunately it was cleared out by the St. Joe's defender, that being Joe Imperio. So a well-timed run that time by Rosenthal, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get to the ball, so East Brunswick will have to try it one more time. St. Joe's is going to bring it back to their sweeper to reload, going right up the middle again. For St. Joe's, that's Kyle Bartlett trying to control it in the middle. Bartlett was the name I was looking for before. Bartlett was the one that was challenged by Kartzman. Kartzman getting the better end of that. Now St. Joe's running on the far side for St. Joe's, Jeremy Wheel. Wheel's going to switch it up, come to the middle of the field. St. Joe's with some numbers, looking through ball in the middle, but an offside, so St. Joe's player not happy with that call. That's Mike Cecchio. Cecchio signaling to the ref that there was one man behind him, but the ref's not going to agree, and award indirect kick for East Brunswick, that being an offside. So I guess what comes around goes around, and now St. Joe's getting nabbed.
It has been a well-officiated game up to this point, Scott, so neither team really complaining about any of the calls that have been made.
We're under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. Long ball over midfield trying to catch St. Joe's short, but St. Joe's sweeper, that being BJ Smith, has some height in the backfield, so he isn't going to lose those long balls over his head. Now St. Joe's is going to try switching up fields and running down the far side. Good step up for East Brunswick, a push in the middle of the field, so East Brunswick's going to get a chance to restart and see what they could string together now as we're down to 4:30. East Brunswick with the restart at midfield and quickly putting the ball into play, getting goal side now on the near side. Rosenthal, he's going to one-time it. Couldn't turn on it. Another well-timed run by Rosenthal on the near side. He was able to get goal side on that restart, but couldn't turn on it as St. Joe's defense effectively cut his angle down.
Well, he was able to get in there that time without any problem because sweeper BJ Smith was hanging right back near his keeper. So there was no danger of any offside call that time.
Smith will now take his time to restart as the referee slows down for a substitution. Checking off for St. Joe's was Kyle Bartlett, still actually touching his face. I think he's still a little shooken up from about 5 minutes ago when he was challenged by Kartzman coming off his line, so he'll take a seat on the bench, and St. Joe's is going to try running it one more time on the near side. A good overlap, well executed for St. Joe's, but double teamed on the near side. Unable to do anything with it for St. Joe's. That'll be poked out of bounds, so St. Joe's will have the throw in on the near side. Coming over to take it is Mike Tornambi. The senior will back up all the way to the track. He'll make a good 10-yard run before he puts the ball in. A really well-thrown ball, almost the equivalent of a corner kick, but there's going to be an infraction against St. Joe's.
That's unusual. Referee on the far side of the field calling for a legal throw. Apparently he felt he spun it off from the right side of his head as opposed to straight over the top, and that's a little subtle way of getting some extra distance on those throws. That generally you don't get the calls against you on that, but this time the referee felt the necessity to make that call.
St. Joe's will run it one more time. They have some numbers coming out of the backfield. East Brunswick will break that one up, and we're going to have an infraction on that. So St. Joe's with a good opportunity here from about 25 yards out. The ref's going to signal them back a few yards. Make it about a 30-yard shot now. A little bit to the near side. Kartzman trying to line up a couple of players to make sure everyone's marked. East Brunswick's going to hold the line at the 18-yard line. They'll work a little bit of a trap as well, trying not to get caught short. It'll be a direct shot on goal and wide. Beat it going over the upper right corner. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Some substitutions back on for East Brunswick. You see Fyros checking in as well as Evan Schottlander. Taking a rest on the bench, Chad Holcomb. And didn't see who else checked out for EB, but other player did check out, so we're under 3 minutes remaining. The official time is kept on the field. The clock has stopped at 3 minutes, so we don't know exactly where we are, but it's the final moments of the first half. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. St. Joe's with an opportunity and a trip. The entire St. Joe's bench looking for that call, and it looked like a trip from here. But they're not going to get anything on that, so East Brunswick's not going to waste time. They're going to try clearing the ball out. East Brunswick not wanting to give up a goal this late in the half. Ball will bounce last off of a East Brunswick players, and St. Joe's with a corner kick, and they're going to try to catch East Brunswick off guard, putting the ball in quickly. East Brunswick trying to clear it out, not effectively doing so. Kartzman with an excellent save, and Kartzman coming up real big on that one as East Brunswick was caught off guard. But Kartzman really earning his pay today as he came up big with 2 big saves there. He's going to come off his line and pull that one in, and he's going to wait now for the entire defense and offense to clear out. Slow things down a little bit. That's the goalkeeper's job, to maintain control in the backfield, and he's done it effectively this afternoon. Now with the backfield cleared out, he'll make a good punt over the midfield line. He'll bounce off the leg of St. Joe's player. East Brunswick not winning that 50-50 ball, and St. Joe's is going to try to reload one more time. East Brunswick's going to step up and make a last run on goal as well. A push that time, giving a little bit of an elbow on the near side, and on the far side, excuse me, the St. Joe's player a little slow coming up. East Brunswick reacting well, stepping up on that. A missed pass on the far side, trying to send an overlap there, but no one running onto it, looking on the far side for a long go. It's not happening. The ball go out of bounds.
Yeah, Kartzman Should buy his sweeper, Lewis Kimmel, a little dinner tonight for helping him on that last save and not clearing the ball out of danger. Kimmel's played a very strong game at sweeper so far.
So Kimmel and Kartzman anchoring the defense for EB and holding them in it as the other defenders were caught off guard on that restart. St. Joe's playing real heads-up soccer and putting the ball down. A corner kick to catch the defenders off guard, but Kartzman came up big, and as you mentioned, Kimmel in the backfield helping him out a little bit. East Brunswick's going to try clearing it near side. No one running onto it, so it'll go untouched over the near side touchline. St. Joe's throwing over to take the throw in. St. Joe's will quickly put it in, but it appeared as if he did step over the touchline. He was on the field, so it'll now be an East Brunswick throw in. Rosenthal will come over to take it. He'll leave it off for another East Brunswick player, that being Mike Poller. Pollar's going to wait for someone to get free. Doesn't see anyone. Now he's going to send a long ball down the line, trying to go over the head of Rosenthal. Rosenthal will drop it back, coming out of the backfield. East Brunswick will play the ball in the middle of the field, waiting for the final moments to run down, and we are out of time. So a quick scoring summary, if you would.
Yeah, East Brunswick got on the board first, 11.5 minutes into the first half, on a goal by Joey Condorso on a beautiful diving header into the far left corner. That was the first goal St. Joe's has given up this year, but they bounced back 8 minutes later on a free kick just outside the East Brunswick box. East Brunswick setting up a wall, and Jeremy Weil for the Falcons was able to sneak it right through the wall and into the far corner out of the reach of Ben Kartzman.
And that's where we currently stand. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. We'll have the second half action for you in just a moment. And welcome back to J. Doyle Field. We're getting set for the second half action. It's East Brunswick versus St. Joe's. Hi, I'm Scott White alongside Phil Peterson, and we have a tie. It's 1-1 East Brunswick and St. Joe's, and as you look out onto the field while the referees confer, East Brunswick is wearing their home white jerseys, moving from right to left on your screen, and St. Joe's in their away green jerseys, moving from left to right. There's 40 minutes on the clock. The referees are getting set to start as they're counting up the players. And where St. Joe's will take the kick as we get underway in second half action. St. Joe's in control of the ball, middle of the field. Jeremy Weil. Weil will go far side. St. Joe's going to bring it all the way back to their sweeper. Faces two East Brunswick players. Dumps it off on the far side. That was B.J. Smith, and East Brunswick's going to step up and come out with the pressure long. They have someone on the far side, I believe. It's Rosenthal cutting into the middle. Now stepping up from the backfield, Condorso. He's going to beat two St. Joe's players, drop it back on a support pass. East Brunswick having some problems turning it up the line, and the referee really prematurely called that. Actually, no, it wasn't out of bounds. I thought he was calling it out of bounds. He was going to call a push. That was a push going against Mitchell Brown, and caught me off guard because I thought he was calling it out of bounds as that ball rolled the touchline.
It looked more like an obstruction call.
St. Joe's is now going to run it on the far side for St. Joe's, Jeremy Weil. And long pass up to Kartzman. He's going to wait. No rush to pick it up. Now he'll pick it up, and he was looking for a short outlet. Now he'll put the ball down, and it'll be a long punt. It'll drop just shy of the midfield off the head of Rosenthal. It'll turn up. No East Brunswick player in the area. St. Joe's is going to try running the near side. A good shot from about 20 yards out. That one coming off of the foot of Mike Cecchio, but a little bit high, so Kartzman not having to come down with that one. It'll be another goal kick for East Brunswick. Kimmel will take it, and he's looking on the near side for Longo, but he's going to opt to send the long ball as there's a St. Joe's player a little bit too close. So long ball, near side touchline, just kept in barely by Condorso, but he can't control it. St. Joe's will check back. Triangle series of passes for St. Joe's. Now they're going to try switching fields. We can control the ball for St. Joe's. Jeremy Weil again. He's going to switch it up, but East Brunswick will step up and clear the ball out.
Be a handball on East Brunswick in his attempt to try to block it. Ball rolled up his arm, and St. Joe's will have an opportunity about 28 yards outside the East Brunswick goal as they line up on the left side.
Good restart situation for St. Joe's. East Brunswick's going to hold the line at the 18. Last man back is Kimmel. Put them in a shooting position. A really good shot. Kartzman jumping up and just a little bit over the top crossbar. So good opportunity for St. Joe's. Unable to convert it into a goal. We're still tied at 1 with 37:45 remaining in this game.
Good idea on the free kick. You got some top spin on it, but not enough to get under the crossbar.
Kimmel looking upfield, trying to find someone open. He's got Longo on the near side touchline, and he's going to go over Longo to the middle of the field. Quick flick of the head by East Brunswick's Mitchell Brown, but nothing there. St. Joe's is going to try running it on the far side. Kimmel's going to come from the backfield, and he's going to look to switch field. Instead, opts the heel tap it out of bounds. He had nowhere else to go, so now St. Joe's will have a throw-in, and we'll see if they come up with that big throw-in again, as we saw last time down the other end of the field. That was Mike Tornambi who threw the ball almost like a corner kick, a line drive to dead center of the box, but he was called on a illegal throw on it, so we'll see what he does this time. He goes about 10 yards back into the middle of the track, makes his long approach, and no call this one. A good shot, a good pass right through the middle, untouched and out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. And he really is a weapon for St. Joe's. If someone could get ahead on that, it's looking at the back of the net.
Well, in your instinct, you were right. It did look like a good shot, but he just threw a bullet right into the box, and nobody was able to get a foot on it. Any kind of redirection might have resulted in a goal there.
East Brunswick with an opportunity now, looking through a ball for Rosenthal, but he's going to be called offsides. He's not happy with that call. A little bit of a delayed call, as the offside should really come when the ball is passed, but that whistle was really after the ball was passed, rolling, and Rosenthal was making a run onto it. Needless to say, St. Joe's is going to turn it around and try running the far side touchline. Nothing happening there. East Brunswick tries clearing it out. St. Joe's in control middle of the field, and it's going to be a handball. The ball bounced up and hit the St. Joe's player. The referee's going to want that one more time. The ball was still rolling when East Brunswick put it into play, so East Brunswick trying to catch St. Joe's off guard. The referee not happy that the ball was still, so they'll do it one more time. Coming near side, stepping up. St. Joe's will break that up now. St. Joe's in control of the ball. St. Joe's going to try running it near side touchline. In control, Phil Musksavich. East Brunswick with a quick header now to the middle. For East Brunswick, Mitchell Brown runs it in the middle of the field. He beats one player, turns it upfield for Mark DeGrandis. Threw a ball looking for Rosenthal. St. Joe's will head the ball out now, running it back for St. Joe's. Jeremy Weil. St. Joe's on the attack, far side. East Brunswick's going to turn it out of bounds. Nothing happening there. So we'll see one more chance for St. Joe's. Same throw, same position. Mike Tornambi is going to look one more time for that throw in. And if they keep throwing it in from that same spot with the skill and power that this Tornambi has, it's a good opportunity, as you mentioned, for a redirect to the back of the net. We'll see what happens now as we're at the 35-minute mark. Score is still tied at 1, East Brunswick and St. Joe's. Tornambi, 10-yard run. Now he'll put the ball into the middle of the box, looking for a redirect. Kartzman caught out of the net, but he comes up with another big save. As that time, St. Joe's was able to redirect it on a header, but Kartzman came up with the touch, and it was cleared out of bounds by the East Brunswick, one of the marking backs for East Brunswick, so now it'll be a throw-in on the near side. Same situation East Brunswick faces. Tornambi will throw from the near side. Same thing, middle of the box. This time Kartzman will come out and he'll pull it down, and he's going to try running East Brunswick real quick. He'll turn it around. Rosenthal running onto it. East Brunswick now forming a 2-on-1. We'll see who has the speed. St. Joe's is going to come back real fast. Good slide tackle and cleared out of bounds. Rosenthal looking for a penalty. Nothing happening there. East Brunswick's going to try to catch them off guard. They'll go with another quick throw-in. And they're looking for one more quick one. They'll slow it down a little bit now into Rosenthal. Now back on the near side for Rob Longo. Longo's going to look far post. No one running onto it. Now an opportunity. East Brunswick from about 18 yards out. If they can get a crack, sends it through the middle. And we're going to have an offsides one more time. St. Joe's effectively working the trap, and East Brunswick unable to counter it. You can hear the St. Joe's fans on the far side. As I mentioned earlier, they of all the teams in the area, St. Joe's usually brings the most vocal and the most fans to a soccer game. So St. Joe's has a number of fans on the far side. You can hear yelling in the background as they'll restart it one more time off of the offsides. Kimmel will step up from the backfield and head it. Rosenthal tries to box out and run it on the near side. It'll be bounced out of bounds by St. Joe's. It's just brought to my attention that I've been incorrectly calling the wrong number all afternoon, so my apologies, as number 17 is Dan Guriello. So after about 15 mistakes with that name, we'll get it right the rest of the afternoon. Dan Guriello, number 17, up front. 33:07 remaining in this ball game. St. Joe's and East Brunswick tied at 1. And now we know Guriello is going to try running it far side. He passes off a quick one-touch. East Brunswick can't get to it as St. Joe steps up. And now they have some running room on the far side touchline. Now looking to send a long service onto the edge of the box. East Brunswick's going to head the ball out. And St. Joe's going to try to control it. We're going to have some sort of penalty called here.
Looked like it could have been a handball call against number 10 for St. Joe's, Jeremy Weil, but instead East Brunswick is called for the push.
So now St. Joe's with an opportunity at the 18-yard line, looking to turn it on net. That was Corey Fick, but he was unable to do so. So now East Brunswick's going to turn it out. Now East Brunswick with an opportunity, sends the ball back for support. Now long ball, and that time he was definitely offsides. Condurso unhappy getting called that time, but he had a good step on his defender, and not really a legitimate argument there. So St. Joe's is going to turn around one more time. East Brunswick really having a rough time timing this trap this afternoon. St. Joe's now with an opportunity, sends far side, and he's looking one-on-one with the keeper. Kimmel with some speed from the back. He's going to try to cut down the angle, and now St. Joe's turning it back to try to get a shot on net. East Brunswick stepping up, but a number of St. Joe's players there sent one more time into the box, and this time we're going to have an offsides going against St. Joe's. So as I said earlier, what comes around goes around, and now St. Joe's is called for it. East Brunswick looking to put the ball into play quickly, but actually it looks like maybe there was something else, an off-the-ball foul in the middle of the field.
Well, St. Joe's in their exuberance to bring numbers up is becoming susceptible to quick counterattacks and getting caught short-handed down in their own end of the field.
So we'll see what happens. That could be an omen of things to come, as you have called St. Joe's having some problems in the backfield. We'll see if East Brunswick can penetrate this defense. Nothing there with a service into the box, but quickly headed out by St. Joe's, and East Brunswick's going to try one more time. No one offsides that time. Gurriello getting goal side, but a bad bounce for him. He can't bring it down. Condurso trying to get a shot in the box. He couldn't do it. Really good sacrifice there by Condurso to try to turn one on net, but he couldn't get his foot on the ball. So East Brunswick had a second shot coming from Mark DeGrandis, but couldn't put it on net. So St. Joe's will have the goal kick. We're down to 30-54 remaining in this game. East Brunswick and St. Joe's are tied at 1. Ball's put up untouched over midfield. Kimmel will send it right back, clearing it out of the area, and it'll go out of bounds on the far side, and it'll be a throw-in. And as I was just saying, we're down to almost about 30 minutes now, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how these teams' conditioning could play a major role in this game as the last 30 minutes of the game is remaining. You had mentioned earlier Coach Haston has made a number of substitutions this afternoon, and that could make the difference as the St. Joe's legs may get a little bit more tired than the East Brunswick legs, especially if this game goes into overtime. So we'll see what happens. East Brunswick now is going to clear the ball on the near side, looking for Condurso, unable to find him as the ball was poked out by St. Joe's. Now Condurso coming back for it. He's tripped up from behind. Now East Brunswick's going to get a call. East Brunswick with a restart on the near side, just off the touchline. Over to take the restart for EB is Rob Longo. He's going to leave off actually for Mitchell Brown. So Brown is going to restart, and we'll see what happens. St. Joe's holding at the 18-yard line. A number of men waiting there to get in there. This time Dan Gurriello is looking near side, and the ball was quickly flicked out by a St. Joe's player. We'll see what happens. We have a dangerous play signaled on the far side, so this one's going to go against East Brunswick. St. Joe's will have the indirect, starting it up from their own 18-yard line. B.J. Smith getting set to take it. He'll put the ball up over midfield. Long ball, good 50 yards on that. St. Joe's is going to get the better half of it, and now St. Joe's looking to turn something up, coming up from the backfield. East Brunswick will clear it out now. East Brunswick with some running room on the near side for EB. That's Mark DeGrandis. He's going to try to send Condurso. Actually, he was looking to send Dan Gurriello, but he was caught offsides one more time. Be interesting to see an offside tally in this ball game, as there have been a number of them going both ways, and it's really slowed down the momentum. Neither team able to really string together a strong offense, and that's part of the defensive weapons that these teams bring. They especially St. Joe's, they're playing a very tough offside trap that East Brunswick's been unable to penetrate. We'll see what happens as this ball game goes ahead. St. Joe's now service into the box, cleared out by EB. St. Joe's will reload and try one more time. They'll switch it up. Fakes to the middle now, coming back to the near side for St. Joe's. That's Jeremy Weil. Weil sends middle, looking to give it right back to him on a give and go. East Brunswick's going to break it up. Now near side for St. Joe's. That's Phil Muck Savage, okay. Muck Savage, leaving off the S there. We'll see what happens as East Brunswick quickly put the ball into play, but an East Brunswick defender in the backfield there was still holding a ball in his hand, waiting to throw it in. So some sort of miscommunication in the backfield. East Brunswick's going to restart it on a penalty. They're going to look to try to send the long ball, but again, one more time, the height of B.J. Smith is going to head it out, and no opportunity for EB. Now EB, actually St. Joe's is going to have the throw in on the far side. Looking to come near side. Kimmel one more time, clearing the ball out in the backfield.
We stand corrected. We've been giving credit. We should give credit where credit is due. The sweeper back for East Brunswick, number 6, has been Joe Merkel. We've been incorrectly calling him out all day. So to Joe, we apologize, and we will have it straight from here on out.
The first boys soccer game for Channel 8 this year. We'll work out the kinks, and we'll have one more for you as the season progresses, possibly some postseason action. East Brunswick now with some numbers running on the near side. East Brunswick with an opportunity, one man to beat, but not happening, as one more time Smith is going to clear the ball out of bounds on the near side touchline. Over to take it, Gurriello with the throw, and he puts the ball down to the turf, and he'll put the ball in now, looking to send a centering pass to the middle. That was Rob Longo, but no one there to run onto it, and the ball is cleared out by St. Joe's. East Brunswick's going to try to reload and bring it back in. St. Joe's has the height advantage in the middle of the field, and it appears as if St. Joe's has had the height advantage a number of times this afternoon. As I mentioned, Smith in the backfield, as well as a number of players in the midfield. Height has really paid off for St. Joe's this afternoon.
Yeah, the next action we'll have for East Brunswick Bears will be the J.P. Stevens game next week, because East Brunswick is in the midst of a 7-game homestand where they hope to gain some kind of momentum as we head into the GMC tournament and then into the state tournament as well.
So by St. Joe's, we'll have the right names and numbers for you as we work out all the numbers on our roster in this game. Now the ball is put into play by Rob Longo, and East Brunswick with a good situation forming right here, a restart situation just outside the 18. St. Joe's is going to stay tight on the ball, but the referee not happy with that. He's going to pull him back. East Brunswick looking to catch St. Joe's off guard, but actually East Brunswick caught themselves off guard as they were a little slow getting in on that one. A little touch pass to the St. Joe's goalkeeper. So they'll punt it. He'll punt it out, and it'll roll off the head of Phil McSavage. And running it far side, Weil, he'll send it into the corner. East Brunswick jumping up on the header, and they'll try turning it upfield. Weil will run over, and it'll be poked out of bounds by an East Brunswick player. So St. Joe's will have the throw-in on the far side touchline, about 45 yards off the end line. They'll walk it up a few yards before putting the ball into play. 25-29 remaining in regulation time. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. St. Joe's puts the ball in, long throw, a good 20 yards. Finds the feet of Kyle Bartlett, and the ball will go out of bounds far side. Now it'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. St. Joe's checking back to cover the keepers, so that way no one throws the ball into Kartzman. East Brunswick making a substitution. Checking in for EB appears to be Rob Montenegro. And checking out on the near side is Scott Rosenthal.
As the game is worn on, Scott, people keep filing in.
Nice crowd here at J. Doyle Stadium. It's a afternoon soccer game, and good opportunity now for East Brunswick, sending the long ball, just leading Gurriello, but he was unable to get a shot on goal, so now St. Joe's will turn it around, and a punt near side. The ball will bounce off the head of a St. Joe's player, and that will be hit out of bounds. Last touch by Eric Shea, so it'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. Gurriello keeping the ball just barely in. Merkel, as we got the name right this time, will keep the ball. I'll send the ball for East Brunswick, but right to a St. Joe's player, so St. Joe's will turn it around off the chest of Merkel. Now a quick header. Can't clear it out. Is going to be a dangerous play called against St. Joe's, so that'll go against Kyle Bartlett. East Brunswick will start it up as it gets cloudy overhead, and the rain is threatening. We'll see if we can finish this game up. Merkel now getting set to take the kick. He's going to just drop it real short on the near side for Rob Longo. Longo with a quick give and go to Gurriello. Now Longo in control of the ball. He's trying to turn it into the middle of the box. He's going to try to go around St. Joe's player, unable to do so. St. Joe's will knock it out of bounds. Quick pass into the box. That time no offsides on the throw-in. He gets East Brunswick player, and it appeared to be a trip, but nothing happening. You heard the entire East Brunswick bench call for the trip, but nothing called there. St. Joe's will now have the goal kick as the ball was last touched by an East Brunswick player, and it rolled over the end line. 23-12 remaining in this ball game. That is in regulation time. East Brunswick and St. Joe's still tied at 1. East Brunswick will take the header off the goal kick. It'll be untouched off that header, out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for St. Joe's. Taking that throw-in was Eric Shea. St. Joe's now has some numbers. East Brunswick clears it out. Merkel will quickly turn it upfield. St. Joe's will send it right back, but Merkel will come from the back. He mistimed that one, and now East Brunswick will clear it out. A quick long ball and a little bit of kick and run soccer now, as no one's really, we see the same thing heading back the other way. No one's really executing any good, well-timed passing patterns, just a lot of kick and run. But now East Brunswick's going to try to run an overlap on the near side, but unfortunately offsides one more time. Not sure who's going to get nabbed for that one. Could have been Condurso, could have been Mark DeGrandis running onto the ball, but either way, it's going to be one more offsides for East Brunswick. St. Joe's cutting down the opportunities.
Well, as the game wears on, Scott, in time with about 22 minutes left in a 1-1 game, you may see teams taking more chances out there, which may leave them more susceptible to a quick counterattack. So it should both be cautious out there and just play the normal game.
And in a game this tight, one big breakaway could be the difference. So we'll see who wears the other team down as we're down to 21:50 remaining. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for St. Joe's. St. Joe's will put it in, trying a header, but nothing happening there. Longo is going to try to take control of it, and he's going to get called for possibly an obstruction or a push. So it appeared maybe it was an obstruction. Referee signaled a pushing call, so St. Joe's will restart near side. Smith is going to send long service into the box. Quick header by St. Joe's. It'll bounce out of bounds over the end line. A goal kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick's going to make some substitutions, checking back into the game for EB, Scott Rosenthal. Coach Haston also speaking with and now sending Mitchell Brown into the game. Coming off on the near side was Evan Schottlander, and the other player checked off on the far side. Can't catch that number for you. It appears as if it's possibly Dan Guriello. Nope, Dan Guriello's still on the field, so unsure exactly who that is. We'll see as they come around the far side. Needless to say, the ball's back into play, and St. Joe's is going to run it on the far side touchline. They'll drop back for support pass to Smith. Smith looking possibly to switch fields. He's double-teamed. Guriello with a slide tackle in there, and he'll knock the ball loose. Helping him out there is Mark DeGrandis. DeGrandis and Guriello trying to put the ball upfield. It'll bounce off a St. Joe's player, and East Brunswick now on the attack. They'll quickly put the ball into play. Longo is going to turn in a good shot from far out. The keeper misjudging it, and had there been a player a little bit late checking in to follow that one up, Dan Guriello, had he been a little bit closer, he may have been able to knock it loose as the St. Joe's keeper bobbled it a bit. East Brunswick with a good opportunity, and as we mentioned a minute ago, one breakaway or one good opportunity could be the difference in this ball game. St. Joe's is going to turn it around and run it back the other way. Switching fields coming near side, looking for Eric Shea. Nothing there. East Brunswick will break that one up. East Brunswick running it near side. Rosenthal having some problems trying to beat two St. Joe's players. He sticks with it, but unable to keep it. Another infraction. East Brunswick pointing their way. St. Joe's pointing their way. The referee's going to agree and give this one to St. Joe's. No signal as to what it actually was. We'll see.
Call was made by the referee on the far side. I don't know what kind of an angle he had, better than the one on the near side, but
he likes to do that, as we've seen him do it a number of times this afternoon. So the referee from the far corner peeks through the binoculars, makes a call on the near side. No one knows what it is, but B.J. Smith will put it into play real quickly. Beats the diving East Brunswick defender, but no one able to turn it on net, so it'll be out of bounds and a goal kick one more time from the backfield. Merkel puts it down, and he's going to put it into play real quick, sending the ball near side for Rob Longo. He's got the field of view ahead of him. He looks up, trying to run it on touchline. Good box out that time by Dan Guriello, but the referee calling another infraction. And one more time, that's that far side referee calling it, so St. Joe's is going to restart it as soon as the second ball comes off the field.
Looked like a pretty good play on the part of Dan Guriello. Looked like he established good body position there, but well, referee made his call.
Not getting the break on that one, and St. Joe's will have the throw-in on the far side. Over to take the throw-in for St. Joe's, Mike Tornambi. He's the big gun when it comes to throwing. We'll see how far he gets on this one. He's a good 40 yards off of the end line. He'll send it back into the box over the head of Merkel. Good opportunity for St. Joe's. Kartzman comes off his line, can't get a ball on it. He dives back, and one more time, Kartzman and the defense. That time, got some help from the defense, came up big.
I think Merkel got back again that time just to knock it away, and St. Joe's will line up for a quick corner kick. See if they get some numbers in the box there. They've got 7 people up in the box. It's
low and short, a wasted opportunity. East Brunswick will clear it out, and Kartzman having a heck of a day in the net. He's come off his line a number of times. He hasn't been able to grab the ball, but he has been able to knock it loose, and he's done enough to keep the ball out of the back of the net so far. Really a saving grace in the backfield for East Brunswick, but you really can't give them all the credit. As we've mentioned, the whole defense is played as an effective unit this afternoon, and East Brunswick will clear it out one more time, and hopefully they'll be able to keep the ball out of the back of the net as we're under 18 minutes remaining. It's East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. St. Joe's puts the ball in. Tornambi on the far side in control of it. He'll drop it back for support. Double teamed by East Brunswick. Tornambi in control one more time. Sends service into the box. Diving Merkel will head it out, but St. Joe's will maintain control. Looking for a shot about 18 yards out. Good shot that time coming off of the foot. The right foot, that is, of Jeremy Weil, but a little bit high, so Merkel will take the goal kick one more time.
That's the first clean shot that any team has had so far this half. Everything else has been deflections or from scrambles. Nobody's really had a good look at the net.
So Merkel will get set to take the goal kick as Coach Haston made some substitutions. Merkel sends the ball to an open East Brunswick player, taking it off his chest. It's Mark DeGrandis. He's looking to overlap on the near side. Couldn't quite turn it around, but the ball was bounced out of bounds by St. Joe's, so East Brunswick will have the throw-in on the near side. A couple of players coming over to take it. Finally, Mitchell Brown will take it. Rosenthal checked off for East Brunswick. Brown, a long ball down the line, headed out of bounds by St. Joe's. That time headed out by Mike Bollinger, so East Brunswick with one more throw-in, and this time Brown will go right into the box. East Brunswick player will take it down off his chest, has the support pass. Brown will put it into the box, no one breaking there now. Good opportunity for Conderso, beats two players, a shot. Conderso leaving it off for another player who wasn't able to really get a good crank on it. It was a decent shot, but nothing there.
I don't know if Condorso was leaving it off. It looked like he was getting ready to crank his leg forward, and the ball was shot before he had a chance to load up.
So a missed opportunity for East Brunswick. Conderso really making an opportunity there, but nothing on it. East Brunswick will reload and bring it down the near side touchline one more time. Looking Curiello on the near side. The ball bounced up, and he's blatantly pushed from behind, so Curiello will come up quickly, pat the player on the back. No hard feelings there, as East Brunswick will get the call. Over to take it near side, Rob Longo. He's going to look far post. A couple of players running onto it. Curiello's in the middle there now. See who challenges the keeper. And the ball will not challenge the keeper. It'll actually go over the end line. It'll be another goal kick for St. Joe's. 15:45 remaining in regulation. East Brunswick and St. Joe's tied at 1. We're here at J. Doyle Field. And this game has really turned out to be what you expect from an East Brunswick-St. Joe's matchup. Really hard-fought soccer. It's a rivalry that dates back a long time. As you look back at the rivalry, St. Joe's has been taken by East Brunswick 25 times. It's 25-24, East Brunswick having the edge over St. Joe's, and we'll see what happens on this afternoon's game. East Brunswick runs onto it on the near side, but the ball goes out of bounds. St. Joe's thinks they have the throw in. East Brunswick's going to get it over, take it near side. Rob Longo, he'll put the ball into play quickly. The St. Joe's defender correctly anticipating now. Gurriello getting goal side, good crack, but it bounces off the post and out of bounds. A good opportunity. East Brunswick is making opportunities happen, and if they keep eating away, they may be able to stretch the twine.
Well, they'd love to get one in here and try to break this home field disadvantage, if there is such a term. Trying to get off the schneid after 3 losing years against St. Joe's here on J. Doyle Field.
St. Joe's with an opportunity now. Tornambi turns on his player. Merkel with a big slide, and Tornambi takes another shot. Just goes far side. Kartzman anticipating that one and diving into the corner. Luckily, he didn't have to come up with the save on that one, so Merkel will take the goal kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick not in any hurry. Finally, Merkel will put the ball into play. Curiello one-timing it. Now back to Curiello. He's going to look to switch fields. Comes to the middle. A good fake that time by Mitchell Brown. St. Joe's is going to turn it around and run it back the other way. St. Joe's in control of the ball in the middle of the field. That's Dave Cecchio. Cecchio is going to wind up a long shot. Cecchio left off that time for Jeremy Weil, who took the shot, but it was high and wide, and each team getting a couple of opportunities late on. One team waiting to actually break this 1-1 tie. We've been tied now since the 1935 mark in the first half. That's 19 minutes and 35 seconds into the game. And that's where it stood since.
I think both teams realize, observing the game here, that both goalies tend to come off their line, so you may catch them off guard by taking a shot from 30, 35 yards out, and a goalkeeper backpedaling has a very difficult time trying to catch a high ball because he just can't get the momentum to get off the ground.
St. Joe's will quickly put the ball into play. Merkel will clear it out one more time for East Brunswick, sending it over the far side touchline. It'll be a throw-in on the far side for St. Joe's. Mike Bollinger over to take it. He's going to leave off for Tornambi, who's been taking all of the big throws on the offensive half for St. Joe's this afternoon. In a moment, you'll see why. Tornambi with his 10-yard run and a good 20-yard throw, at least into the box. A header headed out by East Brunswick. Now St. Joe's getting a step on it. And one more time, Merkel will clear the box out. Merkel really a big man for East Brunswick in the back today, clearing out the box a number of times. St. Joe's will reload and run it one more time as East Brunswick wasn't able to win it in the middle third of the field. East Brunswick stepping up from the defense one more time, leaving off for St. Joe's. St. Joe's on the attack again. St. Joe's will try to send one into the box, and the defense has really come up big for East Brunswick. The middle third of the field has been a pretty even match going both ways. There have been momentum swings a couple of times in this ball game, and as of recently, it seems as if St. Joe's has been controlling the middle third of the field, but on defense, East Brunswick has really been effective in their defensive third.
Well, I'm sure Coach Hastings would like to, as good as his defense has been, I think he'd like to see a little more midfield play at this point. Ball gets out to the middle third of the field and it's chipped long, and as you can see, comes right back at down to their end in a throw-in.
East Brunswick having a hard time bringing it up over midfield. An opportunity run on the near side by Rob Longo, but he couldn't maintain control of it. As we always mention, it is tough on this field as there's a bit of a sag around the outside, a crown on this field where the ball tends to roll out a little prematurely, and that's exactly what happened to Longo. He was unable to turn it up, and now St. Joe's will dribble into a crowd of East Brunswick players. St. Joe's with a shot from about 20 yards out. Cranking that shot was Weil, Jeremy Weil, but it bounced right off an East Brunswick player. And now St. Joe's is going to get a restart on the far side. Infraction against East Brunswick. St. Joe's restart as we're down to about 11 minutes remaining.
You can see, Scott, that St. Joe's furthest defender back is 10 yards onto the East Brunswick side of midfield here, trying to sustain some kind of an attack.
Smith will send it untouched over the end line and a goal kick. And as we've observed, as you have observed, there are no defenders. Now finally one defender will check back over midfield for St. Joe's. St. Joe's cheating up a little bit as they know East Brunswick hasn't been able to break the ball over the midfield line in at least the last 5 or 6 minutes, but that really could lend itself to the opportunity you were talking about before, as the St. Joe's defense could get caught off guard, and a long ball could be the difference in this game. Now Condurso cheating over to the near side touchline, looking to get a ball sent loose to him, but East Brunswick still having a hard time sending it upfield. Longo turns on it, but he can't send it up. Smith is going to send it back on attack for East Brunswick, for St. Joe's. Longo now cleared out for East Brunswick. Getting some help checking back is Mark DeGrandis, but Smith is going to dribble around both of them. Merkel tries to clear it out, but gives St. Joe's a good opportunity. Kartzman one more time will punch the ball out as opposed to grabbing it. He likes to punch the ball, but whatever it takes, he's been effective this afternoon as Merkel will clear it out. And East Brunswick still having a hard time bringing it up over midfield.
Those were a dangerous miscue by Merkel there. It's the toughest thing for a goalie is a high arching ball coming right back at you. You leave your ribs exposed, and he did make a good play. It looked like it would have been a tough chance to try to hang on to the ball, but he made a good play punching it out of danger.
St. Joe's with the throw-in on the near side, and East Brunswick woes continue in terms of getting the ball into the offensive half. They haven't had an offensive opportunity now in close to 7 minutes. East Brunswick trying one more time to send it over midfield. Here's a good opportunity, sending it off the head of Condurso, and an opportunity forming now. The St. Joe's defense very fast getting back, and the ball is cleared out before East Brunswick could turn it up.
St. Joe's has done very little substituting this half. Coach Leonow seems to be content with the unit he has in there, and conditioning could come into play in this last 9 minutes as East Brunswick has constantly changed up to give some freshness to their lineup, give people a chance to catch their breath.
Under 9 minutes, a handball called against Condurso. St. Joe's will start it up from their own 18-yard line. East Brunswick will turn it around and bring it back up the other way. Rosenthal took that ball down but couldn't maintain control of it. Now control the middle of the field is Weil. Weil will send it far side. St. Joe's will try running it one more time. East Brunswick not able to keep the ball on the offensive half of the field very long. St. Joe's quickly bringing it back. Ball sent across the field, and we're going to have a jumping in call against St. Joe's, so East Brunswick will have the restart in the backfield. Burkle will take the restart. St. Joe's fans not happy on the far side. You could hear them booing in the background. Merkel will wait and see if he could find somebody running up front. He's going to send a near side touchline for Condurso. He'll take it down. Has 3 players to beat, and he's not going to be able to do it. He had no help that time. 3 St. Joe's players around him, and St. Joe's is going to turn it around and run it back the other way. East Brunswick stepping up for EB, Mitchell Brown, but he can't control it. St. Joe's going to run one more time. Smith comes from the backfield, beats 2 players. Gurriello will pull him down from the back. So it'll be a restart from about 40 yards out, or actually about 30 yards out, dead center. Smith is going to take it as he was pulled down by Gurriello.
Gurriello tried to appeal to the referee for a little lenience, but to no avail.
East Brunswick's going to run it back up the other way. Rosenthal steps over, turns, waits a little bit long, but he's able to maintain control of the ball. East Brunswick will run it near side touchline now. Long ball, and one more time, East Brunswick's nabbed offsides. Finally, they get a break over midfield, and they're getting frustrated. You can see Rob Condurso hanging his head a little bit. He wasn't called that time, but he is getting a little disappointed in this offense as they haven't been able to beat this trap. East Brunswick will try one more time, cleared out near side touchline. It'll bounce once in and then out, so St. Joe's will have the throw-in on the near side.
Instead of trying to play long ball over the St. Joe's defense, East Brunswick has to try to work some quick 1-2 combinations if they're going to beat this offside trap. Otherwise, there'll be more whistles to come.
St. Joe's opportunity, far side. Tornambi tries to turn it. He ends up turning the corner, but if an East Brunswick player sticks with him tight now, St. Joe's with an opportunity from the 18. East Brunswick will clear it out. Gurriello pops the ball straight up. Rosenthal tries to take it off the bounce. Gurriello steps up to help him, can't get to it now. East Brunswick control near side. Condurso calling for it. East Brunswick has some numbers, good opportunity. Gurriello has a few steps. All he's got to do is beat the keeper, and he does. Dan Gurriello could have the game winner with 6:23 remaining. It's East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1, and there's the goal we've been talking about for a while. East Brunswick hasn't been able to get the ball over midfield. Finally, they do. They catch St. Joe's on their heels. Gurriello gets a few steps on him and just pops it over the head of the St. Joe's goalkeeper. A pretty goal for East Brunswick, and that could be the difference in this ball game. With 6:17 remaining, it's East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1.
Well, as I said earlier, Scott, St. Joe's fullbacks had been coming up 5-10 yards over the midfield line, and this time they just got flat-footed and had 3 East Brunswick players get behind them.
A yellow card is going to be given against, we don't know who this is going to actually be called against. Walking over to the sideline was Scott Rosenthal, but you're calling Mitchell Brown, maybe?
Yeah, Mitchell Brown. Not quite sure what that was for, unless it was some unsportsmanlike conduct after the goal was scored.
Whoever it is, someone's got a yellow card, and East Brunswick, needless to say, still has the advantage, and now they have to play heads-up soccer.
Mark DeGrandis is going in to replace Mitchell Brown.
So DeGrandis is in, Brown is out, and both teams really have to play some heads-up soccer. There's an injury still in the corner that I hadn't noticed. It appears as if it could be Condurso over in the corner. He slowly walks off the field, and yes, in fact, it is Condurso. He's stretching the back of his leg. He's still a player on the field. He hasn't been substituted for. Coach Haston is now on the field talking with the referees. The trainer, Phil Hossler, went down to check on him, and we'll see what happens.
He may have some kind of a leg cramp, because periodically during the course of the second half, he's been pausing in midfield and trying to stretch his calf out there. He may very well be cramping up.
So Firaz will check into the game, and Condurso will stay out. I think you did call that one correctly. Now he's up, and he's an awfully happy camper, as this is a big game for both teams. We had said earlier, this is a huge rivalry. If there's one game on the schedule that both teams circle at the beginning of the year, it's this ball game, and then the second ball game is East Brunswick and St. Joe's will face off one more time in this season. Later on, East Brunswick goes out to St. Joe's on October 14th. And every time these teams play, no matter where, it's always a rivalry, it's always a big game, and it really could be the biggest game on their schedule during the regular season.
Well, it matters not what their records are coming into the game. There's always good fan support here. And both teams, there's many familiar faces. Most kids know each other from both teams. There's some East Brunswick players on St. Joe's, Sean Kelly, for example. So they're very familiar with each other, and yet they come out there, they play hard, and then they go off, shake hands afterwards. So it's the kind of rivalry you like to see.
Rosenthal getting called for the trip that time. St. Joe's is not going to waste any time, as now they have 2 opponents, both East Brunswick and the clock. The clock's down under 6 minutes, and they're going to be playing hard, but we had said East Brunswick has to play heads-up soccer. So does St. Joe's. This is a time where experienced teams keep their act together and they don't panic, as 6 minutes is an awful lot of time. Of course, in this ball game where neither team has been able to break a goal, it's going to be tough for them, but they really need to play heads-up soccer and not panic.
Starting to get a little chippy out there as the time wears down with a 1-goal lead.
The game is getting rough, and here's where the referees are really going to have to maintain control of this game. We'll see if a card comes out on this one, and yes, in fact, there are cards coming out Hey, you had seen a quick fight on the field, and that's another thing that's built into this East Brunswick-St. Joe's rivalry is almost every year there's a fight that breaks out. And that's part of the dynamics of this battle. It is a hard-fought game, and usually the teams leave the field knowing that it was a hard-fought battle. But at this point in the game, it would really be silly for anyone to have to face a red card situation with 5 minutes now remaining in the game. It's not a good time to get thrown out.
Well, to this point, it's been a well-played game. The referees have done a good job maintaining control, but you know, St. Joe's is not used to giving up a goal, let alone being behind this year. So a little frustration may be setting in at this point, and East Brunswick should just maintain their composure and play their game, and hopefully they'll come out victorious with about 5 minutes and 14 seconds left. Unofficial time, as the time is kept on the field by the referees.
And the referees are conferring to see who's going to restart this one up. The near side referee signaling that it should be an East Brunswick restart. We'll see what happens. And yes, in fact, East Brunswick's going to get it. As you had just said, this has been a hard-fought game, and whoever comes out winning or losing, both teams really did play very well this afternoon. It was soccer, high school soccer, the way it's meant to be. It really wasn't a sloppy ball game, and it wasn't up until this point an unsportsmanlike ball game. And we'll see what happens.
Gariello's over there trying to rile up the St. Joe's fans. I don't know whether that's a wise move.
East Brunswick now has the ball on the far side touchline, and you know they're going to use the clock to their advantage at this point in the ball game. We're under 5 minutes. They'll put the ball into play. East Brunswick will look to try to extend the lead, and unable to turn the ball on goal. It'll go out of bounds and a goal kick for St. Joe's. St. Joe's will quickly put the ball into play, but the referee on the near side is going to stop it because East Brunswick was making some substitutions, and good move by Coach Dan Haston. He wants to get some players in, and not only that, a real strategic move in that the clock continues to run on substitutions. So very wise move by Coach Haston. He sent out onto the field Evan Schotlander, so making some substitutions, keep fresh legs in there, and Schotlander is on the field for East Brunswick. One more penalty, and the refs are really trying to maintain control of this ball game. They don't want to lose it now, but they really have broken up the momentum a couple of times. Now, good opportunity for St. Joe's far side. Kartzman is caught off his line, but he just barely touches it. And had he not touched it on his way down, that ball would have been looking at the back of the net. So Kartzman coming up with appeared to be the last touch on that. The referee signaling it's a goal kick, but it seemed to me that he did redirect that.
Yeah, I don't know whether you may be right. It's either that or it looked like the St. Joe's player might have missed kick trying to hit the ball into the net. Got a little anxious seeing Kartzman come off his line and may have taken the shot earlier than he would have liked.
Either way, East Brunswick still keeping the ball out of the back of the net, and that's the way they want to keep it. Tornambi with a long throw into the middle. East Brunswick's going to clear it out. St. Joe's is sending everyone up from the backfield. You'll see now there's no St. Joe's player beyond about 40 yards off of the East Brunswick offensive end line. Now they're slowly coming back. Some substitutions for East Brunswick. One more time, East Brunswick will make a sub checking into the ballgame for EB. Scott Rosenthal checking out is Dan Goriello. A little poetic justice, as those were the names we were mixing up a little bit earlier in the ball game, but now Goriello out, Rosenthal in, and Coach Haston is going to make a couple of substitutions.
Every chance he can at this point.
East Brunswick that's the second goal kick they've sent directly out of bounds. I don't know if that's part of their plan to keep the ball out, but St. Joe's is not really biting it. They quickly get the ball in now. East Brunswick on the attack. Good opportunity. Condurso on that time, and he's going to drop the ball back and try to get one more through ball sent to him. Unable to do so, St. Joe's is going to turn around and run it the other way. We're under 3 minutes remaining. Kartzman comes off his line and picks that ball off the St. Joe's player right at the 18-yard line. Official time is kept on the field, so we don't know exactly where we are. But to let you know, we're under 3 minutes. It's East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1. And East Brunswick maintains control at the midfield line. East Brunswick, good pass, finds Condurso, goal side. Now he has an opportunity to send it, comes out a little bit too far, can't turn it in. East Brunswick with the follow-up, a shot right across the goal mouth 2 times. Good opportunity for East Brunswick, but they couldn't put it in. Joe Condurso, that was, running it down the near side. He ran out a little bit too far to the left. St. Joe's effectively cutting down his angle. He couldn't turn it on net. A good security goal for East Brunswick they could have used there, but St. Joe's stays alive, and Smith will send a long ball one more time. Merkel will run it into the corner, and East Brunswick really needs to hold on tight now. Merkel holding his ground. The ball will be sent over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for St. Joe's.
Condorso made a nice run down the left side, but as you said, Scott, when it looked like he was going to cut into the middle and have the goal dead on, he took it a little too far wide, and on the cross, his teammate just couldn't get a foot on it.
East Brunswick having a rough time clearing it out. Kartzman down on the ground. Good opportunity for St. Joe's. They couldn't find the back of the net. East Brunswick comes up big because St. Joe's was looking at the back of an empty net. Kartzman slipped on that one. We're probably down under a minute right now. I would venture a guess. It's under a minute. As we said, the official time is on the field with the referees and not on the clock. Under a minute, East Brunswick with the 2-1 edge over St. Joe's. The ball will be quickly cleared out by East Brunswick. East Brunswick maintains control, and now they're just anxious to keep the ball away from St. Joe's as long as possible. This will be a huge win for East Brunswick if they do come away with it. As we had said a number of times, it's a big rivalry and each team wants to win it. East Brunswick now gets goal side Conderso one more time. Joe's going to take a shot from about 15 yards out, goes right into the hands of the goalkeeper. The ball is still loose, the keeper's down. Follow-up shot, and looking at the back of an empty net, East Brunswick has a good opportunity, but one more time can't find it. Rosenthal sends it just past the left post, and unfortunately he couldn't give East Brunswick that security goal. East Brunswick's going to make another substitution. Gurriello's going to check in for EB. We'll see who comes out on it. You hear the players out on the field asking for a time check. As you know, we're down close to the very end of the game, just a few seconds remaining. Checking out of the ball game for East Brunswick. That'll be Mark DeGrandis, and for all practical purposes, this game is most likely to be over. Could have some extra time remaining. As you remember, there were a couple of yellow cards in this half, and the clock did stop on those. So we'll see what happens. East Brunswick now with a 2-1 advantage. St. Joe's with a restart. Smith, that's B.J. Smith, will put it into play. He's going to send far side. East Brunswick's going to clear it out as quick as they can, keep it out of the defensive third of the field, just sending it upfield as far as they can, running onto it near side.
Referee's looking at his watch. There's probably under 30 seconds left at this point.
St. Joe's quickly will put the ball into play. East Brunswick will be happy just sending out of bounds Gurriello. East Brunswick Smith will send it real quickly in. Appeared to be an illegal throw, and yes, in fact, it was. There's no doubt about it. Coach Dan Haston is jumping up and down on the near side. You can see him. He's happy. So is the rest of the team. They'll go out onto the field. This is a huge win for East Brunswick. As we said, big rivalry and a well-deserved win. East Brunswick played very well this afternoon. St. Joe's on the other side played a very strong ball game. East Brunswick just getting goal side one time, and it was enough. They got the big break. That was enough to do St. Joe's in. It's East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1. We'll run down the scoring for you real quickly.
Yeah, in the first half, Scott, Joe Condorso got the Bears on the board 11:30 into the first half on a diving header into the low left corner of the net. 8 minutes later, St. Joe's came back on a free kick just outside the East Brunswick box. Jeremy Weil found a seam in the wall and hit it to the far corner. Kartzman didn't have a chance on that one as he was screened. And then in the second half, with both teams going up and down, St. Joe's seemingly carrying the play, got caught off guard, and East Brunswick got a long ball through behind the defense, and with about 6 minutes and 23 seconds left, Dan Gurriello put in the game winner for the Bears.
So one last time, it's East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1. East Brunswick is at home for a long homestand now. From here, they will be playing against North Brunswick, Edison, Monroe, J.P. Stevens, Old Bridge, and Piscataway. We'll have, hopefully, the J.P. Stevens game for you next week. So that'll about do it here from J. Doyle Field. East Brunswick 2, St. Joe's 1 for our technical crew of Peter Kennemassa and Dave Ambrosi, and my play-by-play partner, Phil Peterson. I'm Scott White, saying thanks for joining us.